few years ago, the Washington Post conducted a little experiment. They took this guy called Joshua Bell, a world-famous violinist, and people pay hundreds of pounds to see this guy usually. He's a genius at what he does. And they took him and put him in the middle of a grimy, busy Washington, D.C. subway. And they had him play some of the most difficult pieces that have been written. And he's standing there, playing away, and hundreds of people are just filing past him. A couple of people stop and throw a bit of change towards him, but most people just don't even notice he's there. He collects in his money at the end, and he's collected maybe $30 or $40 at the most. On that morning in Washington, D.C., the people there missed the beauty that was in front of them. Now, that's just an experiment that the Washington Post did, but what if many of us are doing the same this Christmas? What if we're missing what's in front of us? I love Christmas. I love the food. I love the drink. I love the giving of presents, receiving of presents. I enjoy everything about Christmas. I also know for many this time of year is difficult. It's painful. It brings anxiety. It's exhausting. Whichever camp you fall into, come the 25th of December, once the party's over, life just goes back to how it was before. But what if there was more? What if there was more to be had? What if there was something greater to be had in Christmas than just the food and the drink and the presents? What if there was something infinitely brighter that could come into your life during Christmas, infinitely brighter than the darkness that many people are going to be walking through during this season? The good news is, there is more. There is more to be had. There's a tradition that we've got in the Forsyth household. At Christmas, we watch all of the Harry Potter films, some of them back to back. And there's a great line in one of the films, The Prisoner of Azkaban. Dumbledore's standing in front of his pupils in the Great Hall, and he says this: "Happiness can be found even in the darkest of places, if one only remembers to turn on the light." That's exactly what happened 2,000 years ago. As Jesus came into our world as a baby, he came as God, fully man, to live amongst us. And as he lived, he didn't just live to show us good things and to say good things. He came to turn on the light that shows us the true character of God. And as he grew from a baby into a man, we saw a life of true humility and righteous anger, of scandalous generosity and radical dignity. We see him speak up and stand up against injustice ferociously. We see him love his friends deeply and his enemies unconditionally. You see, Jesus didn't just come to show himself to us. He came to give himself for us. So you look at the nativity scene and it might look cute and cozy, but maybe that's how Jesus came into the world. It certainly isn't how he left this world. The baby grew into a man, and this man ends his life suffering the cruelest of deaths, dying on a cross, not because of anything that he'd done wrong, but because of everything that we'd done wrong. You see, we have all turned our back on God. We have created ourselves as gods. We have walked in our own way and lived to our own rules, but God sent his Son to bring us back. He sent Jesus to live for us and to die for us, to take the penalty for our sin. Jesus lives to die, and he lives to die, to rise again, so that he can hold out an offer to you and I of true life. 3 days after he dies, he resurrects, and he offers to all of us now forgiveness and life in its fullest. In the Bible, Jesus says this to his followers: "I've come that they may have life and have it to the full." And the full life that Jesus offers isn't the full life that culture would offer us. It isn't that he offers us lots of money or lots of sex or lots of power. No, the full life that Jesus offers us is infinitely greater. The full life that Jesus offers us is a life without guilt, is a life without judgment for sin. It is a life with God, who is the source of eternal hope, eternal peace, and eternal joy. You see, that is what the Christmas story is all about. Jesus who comes and lives amongst us to die for us and to offer us life. There's another film that my family love to watch at this time of year, The Polar Express. Tom Hanks plays the conductor, and he says this at one point: seeing is believing. Sometimes the most real things in the world are the things you cannot see. 2021 is going to be hard, maybe harder than any year any of us have experienced yet. There is a way that we can walk into next year full of hope, and it starts with believing. Believing that we need Jesus more than we know, and believing that he is holding out to us an offer of forgiveness and life. I know that is a step of faith to believe that. But that step could be a step that you take that would change your eternity. So why don't you take it? Why don't you take a step of discovery of who Jesus is next year? We'd love to invite you to come and do that with us. We're hosting an Alpha course on Lark Lane from January next year, and that's just going to be a few informal evenings where you can come down to the lane, enjoy some good coffee and refreshments on us, bring all your questions about who this Jesus is, what this life is that he offers, and hear a little bit about it. No strings attached, no obligations. You can fill out your details below, and we'd love to send you an invite. Let's not miss the true beauty of Christmas this year. The story of Christmas is not just about a baby. It is infinitely greater. It is a wonderful story of God sending his Son. It is a wonderful story of the light pushing back the darkness. It is a wonderful story of God holding life out to every single one of us. From all of us at Liberty Church, have a great Christmas. We hope to see you next year.
Merry Christmas, everyone!
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas, everyone!
Merry Christmas, Lark Lane!
Happy Christmas, everyone!
Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas!
Happy Christmas!